Hello, everyone. Jubilee here. We are almost exactly a month, exactly a month away from the launch of my new book. And in preparation for that, I've said a lot and shared a lot, and there will be more of that in the future. But today I wanted to share a different perspective. And I believe that I'm hoping this will be impactful for all of you, regardless of if you are into writing or publishing or anything of the kind. It's kind of the unlovely side of self-publishing that nobody sees. And actually, in today's publishing world, it's the ugly underside of the industry touches even people that have traditional publishers as well at this point. Book sales are amazing today, but and people are, because of Amazon, people are more excited about books and there's more ways to read them and things like that. But publishing is a very expensive and risky business. And the thing about dreams is that they will never come to fruition if you don't push through a very awkward and very painful step, which is the part where your dream is dragged out of its comfortable, childish fantasy world and the harsh light of reality is shown on it. And that's the point at which many people give up, because the reality is so unlovely and unexciting, and perhaps even difficult, that we think, well, I don't think I can do this. And there are still days when I don't know if I can do this. It has become a journey where I have had to, after that first blast of reality, once I got over that, honestly, it took some time to emotionally get over the reality of what the publishing industry looks like. But once I got past that, I literally have to revisit that over and over again throughout the process. It has literally become a situation where I have to take it book by book. I have to take it step by step, day by day. And I have decided that I have to just because it's a struggle does not mean I'm meant to quit. It just means it's a struggle. And it means that I have to take it day by day and make sure that I am letting God lead me as far as, what step I'm taking. And I have to trust that everything that He's put within me that's meant to have public expression will get out there in the right time and way that it was meant to. But I have to listen to Him because it's His voice that's going to lead me down the path of life. I ruin it when I get frantic and try to scramble, trying to make things look a certain way. But that perspective is insanely hard to maintain in our culture when you're constantly being bombarded with what everyone else is doing, and everybody else always seems to have more resources, more connections, a bigger platform. And it's very difficult to keep perspective when the entire world, including Christian publishers, are telling you that money and numbers is what is valuable. So, to be completely honest, that is what the publishing industry is about. It sounds very offensive to say, but it's understandable. I mean, if you as a publishing company are going to take a chance that this unknown author's work might not sell, you've got to protect yourself in some way. So the deal is that publishers are not looking to publish whatever you want. Publishers have a very distinct idea about what they want to publish. And if they don't see it in you, and they don't see a platform that's big enough, that's willing to buy all your books and make millions, then they are not interested. And I have gotten this perspective from talking to real insiders and real agents in the publishing industry, so I'm not making this up. I'm not here to preach hopelessness, but I am here to share some of my struggles and some of the reality of this thing that I do, so that you can have hope. I'm going to get to that in a minute, in whatever you are attempting, because I want you to know, whatever you are attempting, even if it's a good desire that God placed inside of you, it will come up against harsh reality. It will come up against opposition. That doesn't mean you were not necessarily called to do it, but it's very important for us to allow God to shape our steps and our perspectives. I've dealt with a ton of, just as I've been plodding through, I've dealt with a ton of imposter syndrome and just discouragement, feeling like, why am I even doing this when I feel very alone in this endeavor? It's very, very lonely. And because, when you do it yourself, the reason that I self-publish is because I could literally spend my entire life waiting to hear back from publishers. And I have been told by agents that I'm an amazing writer and I have a lot to offer and my projects look sound and powerful, but no publisher will take them because I'm not famous. And that's very discouraging, because I went into this believing that it was about talent and it was about skill. And if you had something to say to the world and something to offer to the world that was profound and you're good at it, that should be enough. It's not. Because again, these publishing companies need to keep afloat, so they need to be able to pay for things. And even if you get a publishing deal, what happens is, if your books don't sell, that falls back on you as the author. So when you self-publish, pretty much everything you make is going to printing costs. And you do keep all the royalties and you have full creative control, but you pay for everything, and anyone you hire, that all comes out of your pocket. And any advertising, and that's why my books are not widely advertised, because, after publishing, I don't have money to pay for that. You have to do all of the press for yourself and knock on doors and everything. There's a lot of this that I don't know what I'm doing. And it's very awkward to have to face elements of the business side of what you want to do. And there's this rebellious thing inside you that all the while that's screaming, but I just want to write. I'm a creative. I just want to write. I want other people to take care of all this stuff. But it's just me. And I do have, people that I hire that I'm connected to, and they're taking care of things that I don't know about, like the printer and the cover and things like that, which is amazing. But it's just a lot harder than I ever imagined. Now, if you're still listening at this point, I want to offer the hope and the perspective that God keeps feeding me, and the way that he's using this to teach me. Through this, God has exposed a thing inside me that wants to wait to impact the world until I'm satisfied with my ability to do so. I want to wait until everything is perfect, and I want to wait until I'm satisfied with myself and my abilities and my connections, and I wanted all that to be perfectly lined up and together, and then to be able to point at myself and say, yeah, there's a girl that can change the world. And I'm realizing that it's scary, but it's actually very freeing to realize that that's not the case. It's not about me. It's not about presenting myself to the world in such a way that people go, wow, she's such a, look at the big platform that she has. Look at the way that she's impacting the world. It's about Jesus. It's about me offering my little loaves and fish, which would not be enough to feed the multitudes. It's about me offering that to Jesus And once it's paired with his supernatural ability, it does things that I could never have imagined. And that sounds so simple, but it's something that I have to choose. That's the perspective that God rescued me with, and I have to choose to stand on that every single day, because I have the ability, the free will, to follow the enemy and the flesh down other paths. But those paths will only get me lost. They will tell me, things like, just endless comparison, endless feeling like I should give up. But God's perspective is the one I need to stand on, that this is about him. It's not about me. And if he has given me something to say and do, I will do it to the best of my ability with all the resources he has given me. I will water the ground that I have been given. And when I get to the farthest reaches of my area of influence and I come up against a closed door, I will stand there and knock. All I'm asked to do, all you are asked to do, is to present yourself and your abilities to the Lord and partner with his supernatural ability and let him do whatever it is that he wants to do. And then what happens, I'm going to read from a quote from Katherine and Jay Wolf's book, Suffer Strong, and I'll link it below. But then what happens when you embrace this perspective is this. Our story begins with first paying attention to God's story. We don't have to fight so hard. We don't have to judge so hard. All we have to do is remember the story of our life with God at the center, and then tell about it. And as the words come out of our mouths, the mountains of privilege and self-actualization, the valleys of brokenness and despair will rumble to the ground. And in that place, God's glory can be seen by everyone. That's how God uses you. When you show up with what you've been given and you don't wait for it to be perfect or the way you pictured it, and you just surrender everything to his supernatural ability and watch what he will do. He makes all things beautiful in its time. That is a future statement in the present. So it's a future reality that we get to see glimpses of here. And these are just the fringes of his ways. But the intensity of his power, who can understand? So that is what I am leaning on as I continue this journey. And I hope that this was an encouragement to you to lean on that too, as you face the unfolding of your life and dreams into something that you didn't recognize or plan for. Expect that. It's going to happen. But God's power wants to do something with you that you couldn't do on your own. And that's a journey that I want to sign up for.